Hi, my name is Graham Old, and I want to talk to you today about the topic of induction-less hypnosis. I hope the audio on this comes out okay. I'm having to do it on my iPad because my laptop's died. So let's get straight onto it. My name is Graham Old, as I say. You may know me from howtoinductions.com. I'm also on briefhypnosis.com. And I was inspired by a recent e-newsletter from Jeff Stevens where he talks about the whole topic of inductions and whether they're needed for hypnosis. And he simply says his conclusion really is, there is no such thing as hypnosis without an induction. The moment I engage another person's reality to make it be what I want it to be, I have induced hypnosis. And I completely agree with Jeff there. And actually, Jeff Stevens and I have very, very different approaches and styles of hypnosis. He's very, very direct. I'm more, I guess, kind of conversational. But I completely agree with him. The moment you begin to engage another person's reality to make it be what you want it to be, you have induced hypnosis. You've done your induction. You've begun somewhere. And that's simply the very, very basic point, at the very least, that I want to make. However you begin, that's your induction. And that's aside from the fact of whether or not you need inductions to induce hypnosis or any other kind of academic debates that take place. Your hypnosis begins somewhere, so you may as well begin well. Don't take it for granted. Recognise that the induction serves a purpose, and however you begin, whether you think you don't have an induction or not, whether you simply slam someone's hand onto a desk and attempt to stick it there, whether you say to someone, look into my eyes, or take a deep breath, or close your eyes for a minute, or just imagine, whatever it is you say, however you begin, that's your induction. And my thinking here is very much tied up with the concept of therapeutic inductions that I explore a little bit more in the ebook, The Anatomy of Inductions, that you'll find. I think it's on the iBook store, or just go to howtoinductions.com. And it simply explores the question, what if inductions are about more than simply getting someone into hypnosis? You see, for me, it's not just about using induction to lead someone into trance or hypnosis or to make them obey your commands. And I guess that's where the debate comes from. Some people are saying you need induction to get them to that point. Some people are saying you don't. I'm saying that's all irrelevant. What if the induction actually did more than simply get someone into hypnosis, whatever that might mean? Let me suggest a few things, a few functions for an induction. First, there's this argument I've already said, however you begin, that's your induction. You can't not have an induction. You've got to begin, so begin well. Secondly, the induction establishes rapport, it creates the expectations. You convey yourself as the hypnotist. Maybe you get their imagination running a little bit. Maybe you get them to imagine something outside the box a little bit. The induction, the beginning, can do all this. You may as well do it well. It also assigns roles. You may demonstrate through the induction that you're this kind of commanding presence and they must comply. You might demonstrate that you're a co-traveller with them if you want to take a more kind of spiritual route. You may just simply convey that you're the hypnotist and they'll sit there and do as they're told. However you view yourself as a hypnotist and however you view hypnosis, whatever role you want them to take, all of that is conveyed in how you begin, whether or not you call it an induction. And related to that is the whole idea of frame setting. The induction, or the beginning of your hypnotic experience with someone, sets the frame for what's going to happen. It explains and demonstrates, either through word or action, preferably both, what it is that's happening. You set the context, you convey your intent, whether it's therapeutic, whether it's to have a bit of fun, whether it's an imagination exercise. You set the frame and the boundaries, and that, in my view, is essential for any kind of hypnotic experience. You set the boundaries, you set the parameters within which you'll be working. You frame set. That's essential, and that's a big part of what the induction does. And next is the learning experience, and again this goes back to therapeutic induction, so you may want to look a bit more into that. But an induction isn't just to get someone into hypnosis, it can also be a learning experience. You see, if you want to get them into hypnosis, say to get rid of a phobia, why not teach them through the induction something really simple, like they can do more than they think they can. They can experience their hand levitating off their lap. If you want them to learn through hypnosis that they can cope with stress in the workplace, why not have them learn that they can rapidly relax in a matter of seconds through the induction? To not do that, I think, is to do them a great disservice and to make your work a hell of a lot harder. Basically what we're saying is the early stages of any conversation sets the character of the interaction that follows. That's just common sense, isn't it? We know that from social interaction, through conversation, through relationships, through business working, through negotiations. We see that on the national political stage, as well as in intimate relationships. But it's also very, very true of hypnosis. The early stages of any conversation sets a character of the interaction that follows. So for me, the whole concept of induction-less hypnosis is not only somewhat meaningless, but it's really unhelpful. It's saying essentially, let's skip all that bit and let's get straight into the interaction. What a shame. What a missed opportunity. What if the induction was about more than simply getting someone into hypnosis? That's really all I'm saying here in this brief 5-6 minute little chat with you. Go over and over again this question in your head, because for me it transformed my approach to inductions, and it actually led to quite a transformation of my understanding of hypnosis as a whole. What if the induction was about more than simply getting someone into hypnosis? I hope that's given you some food for thought. I really hope you don't fully agree with me. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts and your interactions on that, and positive or negative. If you want to know more about my approach to hypnosis, there'll be a lot more of that coming up soon on briefhypnosis.com, or feel free to go to howtodoinductions.com to look at some of the inductions on there. But I just really hope this has sparked your thinking a little bit, to give a different place of importance to inductions. Not just something you do to get someone to hypnosis, their frame settings, their learning experiences. The worst thing I can think of is hypnosis without an induction. Thanks very much.